We are going to talk about Mendeley today. Right. So this is the outline of my presentation. I'll be giving a brief introduction as to what Mendeley is, and then I will talk about the Mendeley desktop per se, the most important part of it. That means we are going to install the program first. I hope most of you all must have already used the link that I sent, the staff development committee sent to download the software and install it into your laptop or the desktop. So then we will create a library, and that is populate. You already have a Mendeley software, and then you have the library which is empty, and we will learn how to populate the library, and then using those references in the library, how to cite when we are writing some document in the Microsoft Word. And then to generate the list of references that you have added at the end of the presentation, at the end of the article, and a few other things which will be useful to you all. And then I will talk about the newer version, that is Mendeley Reference Manager, later on, and there are a few other things which I have already incorporated within the presentation. So with that, I will start off with what is Mendeley. So basically, this is a reference management software, and why Mendeley? Is it the only software which is available for referencing? No, there are plenty of others. As most of you all are, doing research and using referencing references, list of references, you know that there are plenty of others. So one thing is Mendeley is it's not very old. As you could see, it was created in 2007. Well, one of the advantages is it is free. Why I've used the word freemium is the basic version is free, and it's free to use for anyone. Like I'm not very IT savvy, but in the IT world, when it is called free, that means the entire thing is free. That means you can use that program and manipulate it and change it and use it as it is yours. But freemium means the basic, you can do everything which they have done, and you can use it freely without making a payment or subscribing or anything like that. So it's free, basically. In our terminology, it's free. And this has most of now. I have been using EndNote previously, which is a very costly referencing management software. Well, I would say I shift over to Mendeley, obviously, because I didn't have access to the authentic version of EndNote after leaving the particular institution. So which I have to use, I have to find the free one. So I shifted to Mendeley, and I have never followed a Mendeley course, but it's a very user friendly. So I have learned it, not being very IT savvy, but I have learned it on my own, because it's quite user friendly and it's free, and it has most of the sophisticated the options the other paid softwares has as well. So it's quite a good, very handy one, I would say. So it is useful to know and useful to use it. And as you could see in the slide, it has been founded by PhD students in 2007. That is because now earlier days, when we were doing our studies in our generation, when we had to use the reference list, we have to prepare the reference list, we had to do it manually in the sense just like a typewriter method, where we just typed it, and every comma and every semicolon, every thing which should be italicized has to be done using the manual options. So that is why probably these PhD students would have thought making a list of 200, 300 using that method is quite cumbersome. So that is why probably this was made. And later on, of course, this has been purchased by the academic publisher Elsevier. So, it went to, it has gone to a sort of a kind of business partner, but still it is free. That's the good thing about it. I mean, for us, it's very advantageous, I would say. So there are certain available versions that we talk about when we talk about Mendeley. They talk about Mendeley desktop, which we are going to talk about mostly today. And then later on, they have developed a version called Mendeley Reference Manager. That is actually the newer one, and it has more sophisticated options, but of course it is in beta mode. Those who know about little IT, the beta mode ones are not the refined ones. They are in the process of making basically, refining the software and making it more bug free and less trouble free kind of. So still Mendeley Reference Manager is in the beta form, but Mendeley Desktop is also the one which we are going to learn, and it is still running and working. And there are certain add-ons add-ons which we should add. I wonder whether you have added them. The Mendeley site and Mendeley importer are those because that is useful when we do this work. When we go ahead, you will understand that. Okay, so with that we will talk about Mendeley desktop. First thing is first we have to install the Mendeley desktop. I have sent you this link which you would have I guess installed by now. I know there would have been few problems where uh, they ask for your account details and sign in. That is to avoid. Let me get the laser pointer. Right. So here you can see that you can create an account, which I think it's quite useful. You can just create an account using your university ID, and even your personal ID could be used, but it's always useful to use university ID and create an account so that pop-up windows won't occur while downloading the Mendeley desktop. So assuming that you all have downloaded the Mendeley desktop, we can go to the next step. This is just a summary of what you would have done. You would have downloaded the software and then saved into your hard disk, and you'd have run the software, and then it will install this Mendeley desktop into your computer, and this particular icon must have been appearing in your desktop as well, because automatically it creates a sort of a shortcut. Right. So when you open the Mendeley desktop, this Mendeley, you opening the using the either the your shortcut or whatever the way, if you open it, this is the interface that you will see. So this is I mean, I can't zoom it more than this, but hope you can see that it has, this is the library, the Mendeley desktop library, the blank empty one, which will look like, of course I have covered because I have taken the screenshot from mine, which has all the folders and all library content. So moving on to before we move on to the populating the empty library, I would like to tell you that it's always better to organize your desktop library, because most of you all do various different research, and you're in different research groups and so on and so forth. So it's always good to create a folder, and so that it's convenient for you to have it in different folders. When you add references, you can directly add into the particular folder if you create such a new folder for whatever the thing. So I have created staff development workshop folder for this one. And moving on, and this again, this you can see that it has recently added one. There are recently read ones. There are ones even when you have duplicates, they will show you that you have duplicates, and so you have certain guidance or organizing power here. You can add favorites here, or when you added your references. If you can't trace it back, of course you should be able to, but if you can't, recently read or the recently added one will be there if you can't find it in your particular folder. So those are little organizing the desktop to work norms. Moving on, right. So then I said you need to have little add-on things to your Mendeley desktop to work. This is Mendeley Web Importer is quite a useful add-on which you should download. It's again from the Mendeley site. You can when you type this, automatically when you ask for the Mendeley site, it will give all those options of Mendeley desktop, the reference manager, and the web importer, and all these will appear. If it doesn't for some reason, if it usually does appear, if it doesn't, then you can just go to your particular Mendeley desktop library, and there in the under the tools you can just install. You can just click it and install it. Okay, right. So there is another one called Mendeley site. Again, another add-on thing which you should do because it will improve your work. So that is Mendeley site. So there are also, if this window doesn't open up when you're installing, you can just under the tools you can find the command to download it, and then it will automatically show you the site and the downloading this thing. Okay, right. So now we are coming to the most important part of it, that's creating a library or adding reference to your empty library. Okay, right. There are different ways where you can add on. Actually, if you have open your Mendeley desktop now, you can have the presentation and the Mendeley desktop side by side, so that you can use it as a this lecture as a hands-on experience, just to do the thing at the same time. I actually could have done it that way, but I didn't want to take a chance of because internet may drop at one point, so I may not be able to show you. So what I have done is I have previously done it and taken screenshots and added to this, or I have put various little clips so you know how to do it. Okay, so if you want, you can have it half and half sharing window basis and do this with me. So easiest way is to drag and drop files. That is, imagine now you have saved during your literature review, you have saved certain files in somewhere else, maybe in my documents or in your research folder. So from there you can just drag and drop whatever the relevant ones. So it will automatically be absorbed by the Mendeley desktop, the software, and it will create the library. It will place in into the relevant places, and it will sort of create your library. So it's very easy, just drag and drop. That is one way of doing it. And then there are other ways of adding references. That is, there you can see that here there is a command called file, and also there is a icon here with a plus mark which is named as add. So both these could be used to add references as well. If I show you this file command, if you click it, it will the drop down list will be shown here. You can add files, you can add folders, you can add manual entries. You can also import certain things from your computer or from web. Okay, similarly, if you click add, that will also have a drop down list with the same options where you can add files, folders, or add things manually. Okay, right. So this is when I click files, it will show you how to this is now we are going to learn. Now previously I showed you how to add references using drag and drop method, and then now I am going to show you how to add specific files or folders from your computer. So you just click the file option, and the drop down list will be shown here, and just click the add files, and it will, open up your computer wherever you have saved. So all you have to do is just go to the particular folder or the file whatever you have saved in your computer, in your documents, and then just click it, and it will be imported or saved into the library if you do that. So that is another easy way of doing adding references. And the easiest or the most convenient way of adding references is directly from the web. That is why I asked you to install that web importer software. So when you do that, when you have it, of course, in your interface of the internet, Google listing, you will have an icon of Mendeley, which I will show you later on. Right now, I can't show you. In this one, when you add references from the web, that is when you have installed that web importer, when you look for an article, if you just, this is, I have just taken an example from PubMed, but you can use Google Chrome or any other search engine. And when you look for the article, when you find whatever you want, you can see that there is a button called Cite. Now this button will not appear at this particular place in all the journals or all the articles that you look for. It will be in different format, like, it may be hidden somewhere else. It will be you will have to find it in a drop down list or wherever. Most of the newer days, current journals, they have the option of direct citing, web importing. So you can just click it and it will do the magic, and it's very easy. But mind you that PubMed has the button here, but not every other journal. So you have to just look for where the site or uh, download citation or some kind of, the wording which indicates that it's the citing option. You have to look for it and click it. Okay, so in this particular one, if you click Cite, this window will open up. Okay, you can see this window. Of course, you can change this format. You can see that there are two arrows up and down, so you can change the format, but I have kept the PubMed format there. And then there is something called download the citation. Okay, so this download citation, the extension, this is BIB, but it will change based on the format that you request. And when you click it, it will be downloaded, you can see. Okay, so this is where I could see in the window where it is downloaded, and this you can find in your downloads folder in your computer. Okay, so it's quite easy. You click Cite and this window will open up, and then you download the citation and it will be placed in your download folder. And then you just move to your Mendeley desktop library, click Files. There is a command called Import, which you can find there. So when you click Import, here you can have the extension BIB. So when you click it, it will take you wherever, but you have to go to downloads, because your folder, if you haven't saved it into any specific folder or document, it will be automatically gone to the download folder, and then you find this particular citation and then you open it, and it will open up in the Mendeley desktop. Okay, so it will show in the Mendeley desktop like this. When you just click it, it's just few clicks and it will do the magic, and there is nothing sort of for you to do manually or anything. It's just that it will be downloaded, right? So the other thing that I wanted to tell you is, this is the particular kind of the extension that I was talking about. When you have installed the web importer, this particular icon will appear in your Google Chrome. Now I am using Google, not in this computer, but in my computer which I used to prepare this presentation, I was using Google Chrome. So it has got it incorporated into the Google Chrome. It is shown. So when you click this, Now say instance, now this is not a journal. Now this website is just daily new cases of COVID-19 in Sri Lanka. So if I want to add this particular uh, the site as a reference, all I have to do is, while I'm looking at it, I just have to click this button. When it clicks, this window opens up, and then I need to select it and just add it to my particular folder, or or the, if I don't have a particular folder or wherever to reference, just add it and it will be shown in your reference library. Okay, so that is quite easy. Again, this is web importing. So moving on, now imagine you have done all that. I mean, you have tried all those three. Just one thing is dragging and dropping the file or the folder or the document is the first thing that I told you. The second thing was adding from the file or from the add folder option, add file option from your computer. And the third was the easier one, web importing directly into your uh, library. The fourth option is where you know, say all those three options were not available or cannot be done. In certain instances, you may find it that you don't find the button to cite from directly from the web, so web importing cannot be done, and you have no access to the full article, so you can't save it. So when you find such a difficult situation, this option is also there where you can manually create an entry. So in the drop down list, when you click file, in the drop down list there is a command called add entry manually. Even in the add icon with the plus mark, that will also have the same drop down option. So you just click that add entry manually option. So that will open up this particular window here. Okay, so when you click file and click add entry manually, this particular window will open up, and as you could see that it has the type. So if you're trying to manually create an entry of a book or a journal article, most of the journal articles actually you don't have to manually create an entry, but when it comes to books or other reports, government, various other things where you have to refer, you may have to use this manually create an entry thing. That also you don't have to type, of course. You can copy paste from the author's names or titles and year and all these things. You can just copy paste or you can type it, either way. Okay, and of course the Mendeley has the option where if your the reference style that you have put is say Vancouver or Harvard or whatever, then actually the author, when you are entering also, they ask you whether you want the surname first or the initials later, or whether you want the initials and the surname or the first name or second name. They give you the options when you are manually doing also, so you can take one of the options and after that you can save it. And then now you have created a library. Now you initially have the empty library, and now using all these methods of adding references, you have populated the library and you have the completed library. So the next step is you want to use those references to cite your document. So now we are going to learn how to insert those citations into the Word document that you're writing up. Because I use Word document because most of us use Word documents in writing. Okay, right. So how do we do? We can now, when you open up your Word document, you have in the ribbon there is a title called references. So if you click that references title in the ribbon, it will appear the ribbon will expand, showing all these things. There the largest, the biggest icon is this insert citation. Okay, so all you have to do is now if you want to insert, now I have taken a template of a word, and if I want to add a reference at the end of the words tool, I just click it there and then click insert citation. The moment you click that, it will open up this particular window. So when this window is open, you have two options to do. One thing is, if you remember the author's name or the particular article's starting word or whatever, you can title or the author's name or some kind of thing, you can type it here. Likewise, now I type button hacker and it gave me the options where my name appears in the library that I have. So if I know which is which, I can just pick the particular one and click OK, and that will add the citation to my particular Word document that I am writing. Okay, here you can see that I have added that particular one here because I remember what I wanted, so I have just typed it, and then I have selected which is what I want, and then it has been added to the particular Word document. So that's one way. The other way is where you when you click insert citation, and when this window opens up, actually this is the method that mostly I use because I don't remember the particular name, because mostly those are foreign names and we don't remember, and the same person may have same particular researcher can have several publications, so we don't know which is which. So I always click this button, go to Mendeley. Okay, when I click that, it actually opens up my Windows Mendeley desktop, and then from the folder I know which folder to go, and then from there I can find this particular article, the reference that I want to add. Of course, if you can't find this straight away, there is here a search option where you can just type what you are looking for, and then it will appear. Okay, and then once you have selected this is I highlighted means I have selected it, and all I have to do is click this button Cite in your Mendeley desktop software. Okay, you just click Cite and it will be added to your particular place wherever you have added. Okay, so this is this way you can easily add your references to your Word document. Okay, so imagine in certain instances when we write up, we want to sort of not always we want to add the reference to the end of the word sentence. We sometimes wish to sort of give more prominence to the author and bring the author as the starting point. So we want to, instead of Bunhack et al. 2015 appearing within the brackets, I want Bunhack to come at the beginning of the sentence and start as Bunhack et al. 2015 reported that for young children and people, like I want to change the bring the author to the front of the subject, and all I have to do is remove this parenthesis. So when I'm removing the parenthesis, this window will appear here. Okay, the Mendeley desktop is asking whether you want to manually edit the reference. So if you want to do that, well, all you have to do is say yes. So you keep manual edit when it asks whether you want to keep manual edit, you just say yes, and then you can do the changes that you want, and still that reference will retain in your document. If you could see here, I have changed the setting of the sentence by bringing the author to the front, and I have done little manual changes, like removing the parenthesis before the word Bunhacker and bringing it to close to the ear. So likewise you can do changes, and then if you click this, it will allow you to do manual changes. Okay, right. So moving on to now you had an empty library, and then you added references to the library, and then you added those references as citations. You cited those references in your Word document. Now you want to generate the bibliography. That means you want to add the list of references to the end of the document, which is the most important thing. So how do we do that? Now, here again, I'm still at the references now in the Word document. You have this references topic in the ribbon, and there you have this particular one which I was showing you earlier. So there, you first thing is you have to think of the style that you want. Now, different journals, different postgraduate or undergraduate programs, they specify different referencing styles. So you need to click whatever the relevant one. Generally this has most of the common ones appearing, but if you don't have, you have the option of finding the other ones as well. First, see, now I have selected the American Journal of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene as the referencing style that I want. So with that, all I have to do is click the button Insert Bibliography. Okay, the moment I click Insert Bibliography, it will give this list of references which I have already entered, cited here. 1, 2, and 3 are my citing references, and the list bibliography is appearing at the end of the article. Okay, so that is just a click of a button, and it's quite easy and straightforward. So I told you, in certain instances, say if one journal refuses the article, we have to send the manuscript to another one. And then previously we had to do all that manually. Now these reference managing softwares have made the life so easy. It's just a click of a button. So now earlier I was writing it in the American Journal of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene way, and now I want the reference to be adjusted to American Psychological APA 6th edition version. So when I want to APA 6th edition, all I have to do is click that button and refresh, and this will automatically change to APA style. Okay, you have the document, you just select it and just refresh, and it will do the needful. Even without refreshing, it actually does the job. So that's quite easy. And imagine if you don't have the, now here we can't see Harvard most of the time. Most of the, the undergraduates and the postgraduates use the Harvard style, and it's not seen here. So not to worry, just to click the button More Styles. In the Mendeley software also you have this option of, in the weave option, the citation style, you have the same option. You can just click it, and actually I haven't taken a screenshot for that, but it will actually open up a window where you have the other various other referencing styles. If you don't have it there, actually you can even import that particular one to your Mendeley desktop or to your document. It's quite easy and straightforward. From the web you can do it. And imagine in certain instances you find it that you cannot sort of find the particular ones, the referencing style. Then you have the option of these extra things I'm telling you now. If you're wondering why this American Journal of Tropical Medicine of Hygiene has 2 options, and then why my name is appearing at the end, that is because I have used this American Journal of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene style, and I have edited into with certain changes to get another one which I would have been unable to find it from the web. So I have sort of done little manipulations and saved it as is, so that I can use it for my references. All that can be done when you start doing it, when you're familiar. These are all self-learning stuff that I have done. So it's easy. If I can do without being IT savvy, you can do it as well. Right. So I told you, you may do various changes to your, library. You may have got the wrong reference when you're doing it. say if you have got this, you have got one hacker at all, but not the 2018 one. Mistakenly, you have downloaded the 2015 one. So likewise, if you do any changes to your Mendeley software, the library, just click the refresh button so that it will any changes that you did to the software, the library will appear in your document as well. So it won't affect your document. It will sort of upgrade it according to the new changes you have done. Right. And these are all additional points that now I'm telling you. I have told you the basic ones. And Mendeley also has the option of copying your reference list. Say if you want to share the, if few of you are writing a journal article, and then if you want to share the references with another person, of course you can share the reference, the entire thing mentally. If you use the web option, you can do it. But if you don't have that option, and if you want to use the Mendeley desktop, this offline option, this edit option has this copy as formatted citation, so you can basically copy and paste it onto a Word document. Okay. Right. So coming close to the end, now this is about Mendeley Reference Manager. Now, when you are downloading the Mendeley desktop, you would have realized the moment you saw that underneath it, they are asking whether you want to download the Mendeley Reference Manager, the newer version. So the newer version, as I said, it has come to impact recently, and it has totally replaced the web library which was there earlier. So the thing is, this is in the beta form yet. That means I told you in the IT world, beta form is has more bugs and more problems, and a little, it's not refined yet, so it's okay. But still, you can use it because it's quite user friendly and it's quite sophisticated. I haven't come across any problems with it. And when you use reference manager, you can always synchronize your desktop, Mendeley desktop as well with it. So when you work in the Mendeley reference manager on web, or whether you do it offline or online with Mendeley desktop, you can synchronize the two libraries easily. And I have a feeling that since Elsevier, the academic publisher, bought this Mendeley and created this reference manager thing, I have a feeling later on, sometimes after some years, they may replace the Mendeley desktop totally with this. But at the moment, still it is available. So Mendeley Reference Manager, this is what I told you. When you try to download Mendeley desktop from the site, this reference manager would have appeared. So if you just click it, you could have downloaded it to your computer as well. Okay, right. So if you download it, and if you're wondering, well, now I learned only about Mendeley desktop and how do I work with Mendeley Reference Manager. It's not very much different to this. More or less, it is the same, but with more advanced, little more sophisticated measures are there. And Mendeley Reference Manager has this guide for new users, and you can easily follow these, guidelines and do your work. And well, of course, this has the it has other options that I didn't tell you previously. Now, this Mendeley, they have actually incorporated PDF well with their software, so that you can whatever the functions that you do with PDF could be done with this particular software as well. That means if you download, now I ask you to drag and drop the documents from your computer to your, or from the web to your library, and then the PDF will be, you can find the PDF in the drop down list. Now when you open up one of the references, there is a placeholder kind of thing which appears on the right hand side of your uh, window. in that, if you just go down, you will find that the PDF version is there. So you can open up, you can do various annotations, you can highlight, you can add text and all. You can save it, and whatever the changes that you do in the PDF will be saved in your particular reference that you have added to your library. It will be saved automatically. Say if you have highlighted part of the top part of the PDF document, it will be saved. And you can, in one place you have all your references, plus you have all your highlighted text in the same library, so it's easy and it's quite convenient, I would say. And then you can directly share your references. I told you earlier, if you have the offline version, you can just do it using that copy as formatted text and paste it and send it to somebody else. Or if you have the reference manager, you can directly share the references with another researcher. All these options are given in the author guide that I showed you earlier. This guide for new users, you can use it and learn. This is quite straightforward things, but first thing is for you to learn and be familiar with the desktop. So the web importer also, I told you, I have done told you this, but I'm just going to show you another another picture of it, where you can when you install the web importer, I told you this particular icon appears in your web browser. I think I showed you this. So you can, if this particular website should be added, then you can just add it. I think I showed you. Okay. So thank you. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. I have to tell you, I'm not an expert in IT, but by using Mendeley and EndNote, I have learned this on my own. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for that excellent presentation. So now anyone who's having questions, you can raise your hand option, use the raise hand option and ask directly, or you can directly unmute your mic and ask whatever the questions that you all are having from Professor Hasni.
Hello, madam.
Yes.
The thing is, if I already prepared the manuscript, but that is incomplete, that I have done manually only. So I'm going to use Mendeley for that one. Means how we can do it. That means manually prepared, half completed manuscript. I want to continue with Mendeley.
Right. So you have typed, and I don't think you have used any other referencing software. No, you have just done the manuscript manually. So now you have to create a library to do the rest, or my advice is for you to do it from scratch, in the sense not rewrite the manuscript, but the references, the list of references you have, just add them to the library and make a library in Mendeley with your references, and then keep on adding it. You can just, it won't take that long, because if those documents are in your computer, you can drag and drop. Or what I do is, when I was transiting from, transitioning phase from EndNote to Mendeley, I also, I did my referencing libraries back to this, because I didn't have the option of sharing that EndNote one with the Mendeley. But I think certain softwares, I can't remember the name of that software, certain other references softwares has the option of sharing if you have used a referencing software. But I understand that you have done it manually, means you can just create a new library and with the same references, and just keep on adding. It will save your time at the end of the day, because if you have to do many changes, any of the changes, say if you have to delete one reference and If you have to do it manually, say if it is in the Vancouver style 1, 2, 3, 4, and if you delete 13 and then you have to redo the rest from 13, so it's always easy to prepare a referencing library and do it. Did I answer your question?
Yes, madam. And another question is, there are some full text articles we can't get no easily. That the paid articles are there, no? You have to pay and get.
Yes.
Such article we can download from some other way, no? Some other means we can get it, no?
Yes,
So such article we can't.
you click the button synchronize, it will synchronize with your desktop, Mendeley desktop, and your reference manager on the class.
Mm.
And in your article, if you have open up the particular article.
Right. No, as in like if I move that sentence somewhere else in my what I'm writing, will it move the reference also in the correct order? Now say I have a sentence and I have reference number 1, right? When I'm looking at the article again, I think no, that sentence shouldn't be in the introduction, it should be in the discussion. So I move it down, right? Now what was 1 is now coming as number 13 in order, right? So will Mendeley adjust the order of references?
Yeah, if you refresh it, yes, because you
Right.
have bring it down, and if
Right.
this is you're referring to a referencing style like Vancouver, where
Yeah.
it should because you have the option of refresh my synchronize or refresh my bibliography.
Mm.
So if you click it, it should automatically adjust everything.
Readjust, right. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Sajid, if we have no questions, we can.
Yes, madam. So do you all have any questions? Any more questions?
And in the web, there are videos where 10 minutes videos, and there are lengthy videos with 1 hour, 1.5 hours done from universities where they have tried to take it as a hands-on experience. So such things you can always refer up. And the preferencing manager, of course, has this. As I showed you, it has the user guide. So I mean, those will be useful when you have problems. That is how I also learned when I first start using this.
Excuse me, madam. Like sometimes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, thing is like when you try to, get the reference, it doesn't come properly. Sometimes like no, something like it doesn't come properly for maybe for the book chapters or something.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have to do it manually.
Yes, you're quite right. When you drag and drop, it really work well with journal articles, but some other books or some maybe reports or something like that may not, be very accurate. You can see that. Then you can do the manual editing of the whatever it has. It will populate the library some way. No, you can make the correction in that case. Generally for journal articles, it's quite reliable. This happens when there are the other things like especially books, and not always, but it can happen. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Professor Hasani, there is another question coming up. They are asking whether they can use both EndNote and Mendeley at the same time at the desktop.
I presume so, Sajid. Even though I was using Mendeley, I have been using EndNote previously. I actually have it in two different laptops actually. So I haven't used the same thing in the same laptop, but I think it should be okay. It should work because I have seen people moving from different, sharing the particular other referencing software library with Mendeley. So, say if you have some other software, if you share it with me, I can import it to my Mendeley one. So, I guess it's just like installing two different apps. So, I think it should be. I have no idea then how the reference in the when you start working with the MS Word document, whether when you cite references, whether it pops up both softwares or whether it will. I have not done that. I suppose it should be okay. I don't know. You have to use and see whether it works. I don't see any problem of doing such a thing. It's like we installing maybe Google Chrome and Internet Explorer and likewise Firefox and all that. I think it should work, but I haven't done that.
Thank you, madam.
We can conclude the session, isn't it?
Yeah. Right. Thank you, madam, for that excellent presentation. So our next webinar will be on EndNote. So we will inform you all about EndNote when it is going to happen, probably in early July. So thank you very much for your participation, and thank you, Professor Hasini, for your excellent presentation once again. And thank you very much the participation with our webinar series conducted by the Staff Development Committee.